You've been lied to, and it's cost you more than you know. Masturbation is not only a bad habit, it's weakening your mind, stealing your discipline, and numbing your potential. The ancient Stoics understood this more than 2,000 years ago. But today's society turns a blind eye. Why did the greatest philosophers caution against it? And more importantly, what's it doing to you? Stick with me, because what you're about to hear may change the way you look at your own mind forever. The silent war on your willpower. You think it's just a habit, a small indulgence here, a little procrastination there. But what if I told you that every time you give in, you aren't just losing a moment, you're losing yourself? You are quietly rewiring your mind for weakness, teaching it that ease is preferable to effort. Marcus Aurelius cautioned, you have to construct your life step by step and be satisfied if each one fulfills its purpose. What if, though, the steps are constructed upon excuses? The true conflict is not fought in epic battles. It is waged in the quiet, unseen times. When you opt for ease rather than discipline, when you grasp diversion instead of meaning. Most of us believe that willpower works like a battery. It gets drained, needs to be recharged. But the reality is that willpower is actually a muscle. It develops when you exercise it, and it atrophies with disuse. When you shun what feels uncomfortable, not only do you lose strength, you lose your direction. You start questioning your own capacity to get through the difficulty, and questioning is the seed of inertia. And then there is the worst result, the erosion of self-respect. With each time you let yourself off the hook, a quiet signal is sent to your subconscious. You are not up to it. That signal grows over time, like interest on a bad loan, until you wake up one day and see that you are a slave to your own appetites. The Stoics knew a truth that today's society shies away from. Greatness is the enemy of comfort. Discomfort is not something to be feared. It is something to be employed. Seneca said, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. What if you were to stop viewing discomfort as suffering and instead view it as training? Each denied craving, each overcome distraction, each move made in spite of fatigue, it all builds something inside of you. Self-control is not denial. It is creation. It is the building of an unshakable mind. Begin with the little things. Get up when you promise you will. Get the cold shower. Do the difficult task first, and then the easy one. These are not little insignificant things. They are evidence to yourself that you are in charge. The more that you look for voluntary difficulty, the more that outside forces will have less control over you. A man who opts for inconvenience becomes unstoppable, for he no longer lives in terror. He doesn't require motivation. His actions are guided by principle, not temperament. The war against your willpower is quiet, yet the results are thunderous. With each compromise, you move further away from the person you might have been. But with each resistance, you build a sense of strength. The decision is easy, but deep. Find comfort and degrade. Find discomfort and liberate. The lie of instant gratification. The largest trap is not the behavior itself. It's the false belief that it will ease tension. You grab the cigarette, the phone, the gratuitous snack, believing it will provide relief. But what if the very thing you believe is aiding you is actually undermining you? What if every indulgence is not a fleeting slip, but a gradual erosion of your self-control, your concentration, and eventually your authority? Seneca cautioned, you live like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you wish. We behave as if time is endless, as if tomorrow will always be there to discipline ourselves, to begin anew. But we handle every craving like it's urgent, every desire like it must be heeded. This is the lie of instant pleasure. It never satisfies. It merely makes the craving greater. Every time you surrender to effortless indulgence, you strengthen a lethal pattern. Your brain pays you with dopamine, but not one that constructs you. It conditions you to want more, to require more, while true satisfaction becomes increasingly difficult to achieve. The longer you do it, the worse your ability to concentrate, work intensely, and even connect with others gets. The more you surrender, the less you can control. It's why men of today can't read a book without distraction, sit in quietude without grasping for their phone, work for hours without scratching the itch of entertainment. They have been conditioned by their own desires, to be slaves to gratification. But here's the part that no one will tell you. Self-control isn't simply about discipline. It's about power. The man who exercises self-control exudes something elusive, actual confidence. Not the fickle confidence predicated on someone else's say-so, but the unshakable type that results when you know that you are in charge of impulse. That's why the hottest men, the most successful men, possess restraint. Women detect it. Business partners notice it. A guy who is steady, who is not constantly relying on pleasure in order to become whole, is a guy men and women tend to respect. The Stoics understood this truth well. Desire is an illusion. It has control over you only because you listen to it. The moment you stop reacting to its call, you see, it was never there. The desire for distraction, the hunger for constant pleasure, the false urgency of impulse, all of them disappear when you stop giving in. This is why the road to real strength isn't about force. It's about refusal. Refusal to be controlled by your baser nature. Refusal to be a puppet of pleasure. The answer is easy, but not simple. Discipline yourself in tiny increments. Postpone gratification in everyday life. Wait a little longer than you have to before you eat. Let the message linger before you reply. Sit in the doldrums without going to your phone. These tiny actions are not insignificant. They are evidence that you are in charge, and control with time builds into strength. The deception of instant gratification is that it provides you with something. The reality is that it merely takes. It takes your discipline, your concentration, your energy, and makes you weaker. But the instant you see this deception, the instant you break free from obeying, you become something that is unusual in this world. A man who is free. How to reclaim your strength is the Stoic way. Breaking free is not about willpower. It's about changing your identity. Most individuals do not succeed because they depend on force, attempting to resist old habits by sheer effort. But resistance is not enough. The true key to change is viewing yourself differently, not as someone who is struggling against temptation, but as someone who has already outgrown it. Epictetus declared, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And yet, how many men are truly free today? They are captive to their whims, their desires, their distractions. They rise up grasping their phones. They pursue transient pleasures, searching for escape. They know they are supposed to be stronger, but they combat their habits incorrectly by attempting to quell rather than steer them. This is why most attempts at self-discipline fail. When you say to yourself, "Stop doing something," your mind becomes more obsessed with it. Don't fight the temptation, replace it. Each time you feel the tug of distraction or indulgence, redirect your energy to something better. Reading, training, working, building. You don't just quit bad habits, you starve them by nourishing better ones. The man who fills his life with purpose has no room for weakness. To create a warrior's mindset, make every desire a test of wills. Don't view discomfort as suffering, but instead as training. When you have the desire to scroll through your phone aimlessly, to gobble what you shouldn't, to shirk hard work, stop. Identify the moment for what it is, a chance, an opportunity to demonstrate to yourself in this very moment that you are the master of your will. Each time you emerge victorious in that fight, however small, you reinforce your strength. These small victories accumulate over time until your discipline becomes second nature. The Stoics had a simple yet effective way of regaining strength. Detach, reframe, act with discipline. Step 1. Detach. Move away from your feelings and urges. Look at them without responding. Step 2. Reframe. Shift how you perceive the obstacle. Rather than viewing it as suffering, view it as growth. Step 3. Act with discipline. Take the tougher way, not once, but all the time, until that's who you are. Reclaiming your strength is not a matter of waiting for the right time, the right motive, or the right strategy. It is about recognizing right now that the decision is already yours. The weak man waits for change. The strong man makes it. Your mind is your greatest weapon, but only if you use it. Each moment, you are either supporting weakness or developing strength. The decision is never neutral. This isn't merely about quitting a habit. It's about becoming a man of unbreakable self-discipline, a man who rules his thoughts, his deeds, and finally, his own fate. When you conquer yourself, everything transforms. Your attention clarifies, your confidence elevates, and the world adapts to the power of your self-control. Your future, your strength, your success. It all begins with one choice. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. The war is won in the little things, in the quiet decisions that no one notices. Choose mastery. Choose power. Choose to be better. If this spoke to you, like, comment, and subscribe. More Stoic wisdom is on the way. Stay disciplined, stay relentless, and never stop being the strongest version of yourself.